Good evening, humans. Tyrannosaurus Moth here, and here we are at the end of another year. And you know what that means? That means lists, best of, worst ofs, what have you. And my channel's no different. So we're going to go over my favorite figures because I like to keep things positive. And beyond that, before we really delve into things, I just wanted to get the few ground rules set just so you understand where I'm coming from with this list. And so starting off first is this is a subjective list. Any top list is going to be subjective. So this is given to my predilections, and one of the top criteria for me for figures is like, what do I need to go back and like play with and articulate and take pictures of and all this, like what figures can I stay away from. So that's kind of obvious. And then aesthetics and articulation, all the things that I get over, or I go over rather, in my reviews. Not only that, but to start off as a top 10, I think I say that in the honorable mention section, but literally 5 minutes after I shot that, I was like, I'm not giving a convention. I'm gonna do 13. This year was too packed. So second part is just that I have to actually own the figures, because obviously I can't judge or rate anything that I don't own. And then third and final is just that the timeline for what I think is eligible for my list is anything that obviously came out during the year, but December of the previous year counts as well. So anything that came out last December is eligible for this list, and likewise, anything comes out this December is going to be eligible for 2022's list, just because you know how supply chains are, especially right now. So I guess that is the ground rules, and we're just going to move right into the list. So starting off with honorable mentions, and then we're just going to shoot right into the list itself. So let's get right into this list. Let's do this. And here, my friends, we have all the honorable mentions for 2021. And the only things keeping these off of the top 10, and it shifted a lot, believe me, were just either some sort of fatal flaw in the design, aesthetics, any of that, or just something happened to just be just a little bit better and kind of knock something off and into the honorable mentions. So, feel free to pause the video and take stock of what is here. But I will be listing them in the description as well. Coming in at number 13, we have the Transformers War for Cybertron Kingdom T-Rex figure from Hasbro. This was a Target exclusive, and I said 6 months ago that this might displace the Megatron figure, and here we are. So obviously I love the mold. I didn't do a review of it just because I'm not confident reviewing Transformers, because they're not generally my thing. However, just absolutely adore the look of it. I am a little sad that they changed the eyes from green of the original to yellow here. I just it doesn't look as good to me. But naturally, I'm going to take a figure that reminds me, at least in part, of my true form. And it's got to make it on the list. So that's number 13. In at number 12, we have the SH Figuarts Ultraman Tiga multi-type figure. And if you saw my review, you know that this is an absolute joy to articulate. I really like just the feel of the figure. While the paint is not as crisp because of the rubber parts as it is on general SH Figuarts, this is still just a fantastic figure, and I just couldn't keep it away from this list. So that's number 12. In at number 11, we have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Secret of the Ooze Super Shredder Shadow Master Edition. And admittedly, this is kind of my sneaky way of getting Super Shredder on the top figures of the year list, because I kind of got the original one a little too late to put that on last year's list. And you know what? I think that's legit. It's my list. I can do what I want. And in any event, if you saw my review, you know I love this mold, and I will buy whatever variant they come out with. And I guess what puts this over the European homage is just, I really like the subtle teal metal accents against the darker purple here. So that's what secures its spot at number 11. In at number 10, we have the WWE Ultimate Edition Kane figure from Mattel. And I know I had said that if the arm fix had come before the end of the year, that this would end up in the top 10, and to my knowledge, that hasn't come up yet as of this recording. However, I can't deny how much I love this figure. It just absolutely captures what was just cool and awesome about Kane back in the early part of that character. And just, I love the shade of red and just everything about it, just absolutely fantastic. So he is definitely number 10. In at number 9, we have the Masters of the Universe Revelation Masterverse Evelyn figure from Mattel. Part of what I love so much about this is that it very much sets precedent and proves that in a 1/6 to 1/10 scale, you can absolutely put all the articulation and detail that you would put into a male figure into a female figure, and just there it is. It's implemented just beautifully and everything is great. Not only that, but Evelyn is my favorite character from Revelation next to Henry Triclops Rollins. So yeah, there you go. In at number 8 is the TMNT Ultimates Leonardo figure from Super 7. This, as I had stated in my review, is a nearly perfect update to one of my favorite childhood figures and my favorite turtle. So really not much to say beyond that. Just, yeah, number 8. At number 7, we have the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Andross in Disguise Target exclusive figure from Hasbro. And I did a lot of hemming and hawing and back and forth as to what Lightning Collection figure or figures was going to end up on this list. And the first half to 3/4 of the year weren't very active. And then this last quarter of 2021 has been kind of insane in terms of the Lightning Collection coming out. And yeah, so this was unexpected and just kind of came out of nowhere. And, you know, honestly, I with the cloth goods and, you know, the likeness and just the simplicity of it, it just kind of works for me. And that's why it is here at the coveted number 7 spot. At number 6 is the Spawn Deluxe Violator figure from McFarlane Toys, and this is an absolute beast. It articulates super well, the sculpt is phenomenal, the paint is great, it just, yeah, it hits all the hallmarks of what I think a great monster figure should be, and that is why it's this high up on the list. Here at number 5, we already returned to the Power Rangers Lightning Collection with the Scorpina figure from the MMPR Yellow Ranger figure vs. Scorpina Versus pack. And this is admittedly a late entry onto the list, and I actually just wrapped my review the other night, but this couldn't not go on the list. The articulation is great. The sculpt and paint are absolutely phenomenal. In fact, the paint's probably amongst the best in the Lightning Collection, period. And yeah, just undeniable. So keep an eye out for that review, and yeah, pick up this figure if you see it. At number 4, we have the Momotaros Imagine figure from SH Figuarts. And as I had stated in my review for this figure, it's just an absolute joy to pose. It totally captures the personality of the character, and just, yeah, it is a fun figure, period. And again, that's kind of what the top figures of the year is all about, is what figures do I really need to play with and articulate, and this absolutely falls into that category. Into the home stretch at number 3, we have the Sonic 30th Anniversary Mechasonic figure from Jakks Pacific. This is by far the smallest and cheapest figure on this list, by a large margin on both counts, and it's just so good. That's why it's at number 3. Not only that, but this is the review for this figure is the single most viewed review I believe I have on the channel. It might be that or Shoken's Ninja, but from Articulate Icons. But in any event, it just makes me so happy that so many people are curious about this figure, because you should be buying it. There's a single pack and a version that comes in a triple pack with a Sonic and Robotnik, and is just between the articulation, the aesthetics, just everything is absolutely on point. This is better than it should be, and I love it for that. At number 2, we have the Legends of Lucha Libre Penta El Cerro M figure from Boss Fight Studios. Boss Fight Studios absolutely pours a ton of passion every line they do. This is no exception, and this figure is just absolutely phenomenal. One of my favorite figures of all time, just period. It's just so fun. The feel of the figure is great. The articulation is fantastic. The paint is just lovingly done and perfect. And yeah, it's like, I guess I remind you that this was actually number 1 for the first half of 2021 list. And you know, it takes a lot to bump this down a bit. So brace yourselves for number 1. Brace yourselves, it's not that big, but in any event, this is just an absolutely fantastic figure, and I'm so happy to see that they're continuing this with a Lady Maravilla and Conan figure coming out later next year, hopefully. So yeah, just if you can find a Penta, absolutely get it. Just a phenomenal figure. And finally, my number 1 figure for the year 2021 is the XMen Gambit figure from Medicom Mafex. I gotta tell you, like, this is just, it's perfect for a figure that is of a character that I've loved for years and years and has absolutely influenced my human being over the course of my life. And just this is a figure I never thought I would see, just certainly on this level. And yeah, it's phenomenal. Paint, articulation, soft goods, accessories, everything. Just, I consider it perfect. This absolutely elevated what I consider a good figure, and kind of changed my standards slightly in terms of like what I like the most and what I'm looking for out of figures. So yeah, just Medicom Mafex absolutely killed it here. And I will just add here that it is worth noting it took a figure literally twice the price of the Penta El Cerro M figure to unseat it, but no qualms here at all. Like, this is just a piece of art, and I'm so happy to have it in my collection. So this is the number 1 figure for me of 2021. So finally, here they are all together, my personal top 13 figures of 2021. So there you have it. There's my top 13 figures of the year, as well as my honorable mentions. So what'd you think? Did any you agree with? Any that are crossing over with your list? Let me know in the comments below. Or in matter of fact, just let me know what your top 10, 13, whatever your top figures of the list of the top figures of the year were, because I'm genuinely curious. I want to kind of see, like, you know, people who watch this channel. I mean, obviously, we share something in common if you're interested in the figures that I'm reviewing. So I'm curious as to what made the list for you. And yeah, I guess that's about it. So that being said, thank you so much for watching. As always, this has been a great year, a very full year, and I'm looking forward to continuing this. So yeah, to meet me in the comments. Let's talk about toys. And beyond that, you know, if you found this entertaining, if you're new and this is the first video you watched, you know, thank you for coming here. And, you know, I hope you found it entertaining. So yeah, if you did, please like, comment, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you in the next video and throughout the next year. So as always, take care of yourself, take care of those around you, and most importantly, stay weird, Simians.